Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. So today we are going to be reviewing M Cosmetics the Masterpiece collection, and when I first saw this collection I feel like it was just screaming my name, because if you guys saw the concept photos, is that aesthetic just not my aesthetic as well? Like, look at my mirror, I feel like they used something similar, and then if you've seen my lamp, I feel like it just fits so well with this collection. But just generally, whatever M Cosmetics release, I'm always so pumped for, and they definitely are one of my favorite brands. So I'm so excited to review this for you guys. I actually did purchase the entire collection myself, which is still on its way to me, but M Cosmetics was kind enough to send this to me in PR because I wasn't sure if I was going to get it or not, because I know they have my address but I don't get sent everything, so I wasn't sure and I really wanted it, so I did purchase it myself. So I'm just gonna have to like re-gift it for some birthdays coming up. But yeah, I'm excited I got it because I got it a little bit earlier than my own package, so I can get this review up just a little bit earlier than usual. So with that being said, if you guys are curious about my thoughts on the Masterpiece collection by M Cosmetics, then please continue watching. So this collection pretty much breaks up into two sets. We have the soft neutral side, which has the lighter taupe packaging, and then we have the sultry neutral side, which has the darker taupe mauve packaging, and you can see a clear difference with the shades. So in the soft neutral set, we have the Divine Skies eyeshadow palette in Rodin, the Heaven's Glow blush in Baroque, and then the lip cushion in the shade Mona Lisa. This is the set that I'm currently wearing on right now. But then we also have the sultry set, which also has the Divine Skies eyeshadow palette but in Da Vinci, also the Heaven's Glow blush in Rococo, and then the lip cushion in Van Gogh. So each set has the same products, just in different shades and in different colored packaging. But before I go into my final thoughts on the collection, I did film two looks, like two first impression tutorials on each set, so you will see them on me, and I will just kind of explain what I like about each set, and then I'll come back at the end and give you my final thoughts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the sultry neutrals set first. Alright, so first up I'm going to be taking this shade right here called Portrait. This is a satin shadow, and we're just going to work this all over our lid into the crease. This is going to be the base color for our eye look, and when I first used the shadow previously, it literally reminded me of Triton from ColourPop's It's a Princess Thing palette. And if you guys know me well, you know that the Triton shade, I've always said that that is my perfect matte. Like, I'm obsessed with that shade specifically, and Portrait really gives me that vibe because it is a satin similar to Triton. I would say it's probably just a little bit deeper and maybe a little bit warmer, but if you really like Triton, I think you would already love this shade so much. This would work really great just all over the eyes as well, just one and done. Because it is a satin, it has more dimension to it rather than just a plain old matte. Now taking the shade over here called Orchid, this is a really nice light to medium mustard brown. We're just gonna run this all over our lower lash line. I just wanted to use all of the shades for you today, but this matches really well. It's a little bit more caramel than Portrait, which has more red undertones. I don't know, for some reason I feel like this formula, I don't know if they improved or anything, or if it's just me going crazy, but I just feel like the eyeshadows are just so much easier to blend out. Like, I'm done. Like, that's it. Did they improve the formula, or is it just these kind of shades are just easier to blend out? I don't know. I find M's eyeshadows really easy to blend out. Like, I don't have any issues with that. But for some reason, this just blends out like a dream, like a literal dream. All right, now I'm gonna go into this shade here called Sienna. This is a nice muted medium brown, and this is gonna go at the outer corners of our eyes just to start creating some depth. Because this is the sultry neutrals, I want to do a very sultry look, and when I think of sultry, I literally think of a smoky wing. So we are just gonna build some depth out here, and as you can see, Even though I said it's like a mid-tone, it actually translates quite dark on the eyes. Like what you see in the pan, I feel like it looks lighter, but once it's like on the eyes, it definitely goes on a little darker. Well, just on me, just on my skin tone. Like as you can see, like this, I could be fine with this. And then I'm also gonna take that onto my lower lash line as well. Again, just for some depth. Now taking this dark brown here, I don't know how to pronounce that shade name. We are going to use this to start creating our wing. So I'm going to stamp it right at the outer corner here and align it along to my lower lash line. Right here. And then sweeping it up. We're going to do more of an upturned, more cat eye wing today. And then I'm going to connect it to my upper lash line. And we are just going to go all out with this smoky wing. I'm going to make it a pretty thick smoky wing as well. And now going ahead and taking this shade here called Enigma. It is like a dirty bronze gold with like slightly a green undertone to it. It's very, very bronzy. I'm just going to take that to the inner third above my wing. And we are just going to diffuse this all out around this area here and wash it all over. You definitely could wet this metallic if you want for it to be more foiled, and that would be really pretty, but for just this eye look and my makeup style, I like it like this. And now going into the final shade, Renaissance, which is the lightest metallic. It's not actually that light on me to be like an inner corner highlight, but it still works. I'm going to take that to the inner third right here. And now onto the Heaven's Glow blush. This is the shade Raw Cocoa. And I love this formula, guys. I'm so happy they released more shades. But I do feel like these might look quite light on me. I don't know. Let's give it a go. Oh no, it's not too light. Okay. So if you guys are not familiar with the Heaven's Glow blushes, it's such a unique formula. It literally gives your cheeks such a nice sheen. I think, yeah, maybe it is a little too dark for me. Or maybe I just used too much, I don't know. I think next time I'll use a little bit less, but still the color is beautiful. It's like really, really pretty. And finally onto the lip cushion. This is the shade Van Gogh. I love these lip cushions. They are expensive for what it is, but they are very hydrating. So let's have a look at this shade. Oh, okay. It's a little darker than what they already have. I did swatch all of the lip cushions. I'll leave it up here if you'd like to check that out. I think this definitely would be someone's My Lips But Better kind of color for a more medium to deeper complexion. So on me, it's a little, like, I could call this like a full-time kind of lip. So this is the final look using the Sultry Neutrals set. I love how this look turned out. It's classic, it's timeless, love all the tones. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this look with this set. So first up, I'm going to be taking this shade right here called Clay. It's a really nice muted clay color. And this is just going to be the transition shadow. So again, just working that all over the lid first. And then we will slowly blend that up into the crease area. This is a really nice muted tone. I will say, after doing this look off camera, these palettes, they are quite dark actually. Well, just on my skin tone, obviously. I think it is quite deep. I thought that this one would be a little bit more like light to medium. I think when you look at them in the pan, they definitely look lighter, but yeah, once you apply them on your eyes, they definitely can go quite dark. So there's actually a lot of versatility with it. So if you're looking at the campaign photos, maybe the colors are not so true to what it actually looks like in person. And that's the thing with M Cosmetics campaign photos. Sometimes I feel like the colors don't translate well from when you get it in person. Like, it's better in person is what I'm trying to say. For me, for this collection, I thought it was just going to be very light, but it can go very, very dark. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade here called Timeless. This is more of like a muted taupe, and we're just gonna run this all over the lower lash line. And even with this one, I would even call this to be like a medium tone. Like, it's not as like transitional light, you know what I mean? But these all blend out like a dream. I have no issues with this palette either. I used all 6 shades as well. Now going into this shade here called Sculpt, it's just the dark chocolate brown. And I'm gonna focus this right at the outer corners here, just stamping it on, and then I'll slowly start to blend that out. That is also really dark as well. So you know what I mean? Like, you can go quite intense with this palette, with both palettes really. And when I saw this collection, I didn't think I could have done that with this palette because it is the lighter one. So I'm here to tell you that you can. It's pretty versatile, to be honest. So I'm also gonna take Sculpt onto just my lower lash line, just at the outer corner here. So now going ahead and taking this shade here called Masterpiece. It's a really nice taupey bronze metallic shadow. So I'm gonna take that right to the center of my lids, kind of where the matte is fading into the inner third of my eyes. And that is going to be that blending, meshing color. And now going into the shade right here called Muse. It has almost like an orange salmon undertone to it. But I'm gonna place that right at the inner third here, at this inner nook. So we have more of like a gradient. I'll also just take that into my inner corners as well. And also just diffuse that in the crease. I could see this pairing really well with the Magic Hour palette. That would be super pretty because it has that like subtle pink undertone to it, like pink glitters, I should say. And lastly, just going into this shade here called Whisper, which is also like a satin shade. And I'm gonna place this right here at the inner third on my lower lash line. I think this satin shadow is just so pretty. And I think if you have a deeper complexion than me, this would be a really nice color to do aegyo style, if that is your makeup style. That's just pretty much like highlighting kind of your eye bag here and like contouring it. I'm doing it like slightly. And now onto the Heaven's Glow blush. This is in the shade Baroque. I still don't know the exact pronunciation, but I'm just gonna call it Baroque. These earrings from En Route Jewelry with Best Dress is also called Baroque as well. And Colourpop has a palette called Baroque. But we're just gonna apply this to the apples of my cheeks, just like yesterday. Okay, this one, I feel like is almost a little bit lilac, like pinky purple. Yeah, it almost has like a purple sheen to it, like a lilac sheen, which I did not expect from this pan. This one definitely suits my skin tone a bit better. I feel like it's not so dark on me like the other one that we used. This is really pretty actually. I think it's a really unique kind of shade, how it like shifts purple, but when you look, it just looks like a peachy pinky blush. And now for the lip cushion, this is in the shade Mona Lisa. This one's a little bit more nude, like it has like a light brown undertone to it, which is not my favorite because my lips are already quite dull. That this, I feel like on me, kind of just makes my lips look a little bit more dull. I think a lot of people love this kind of lip color, but for me, I do prefer something a little bit brighter. It's still pretty, it's just not my preference. Like, I don't really see myself wearing this kind of nudie brown, but I think a lot of people would absolutely love this shade. It's just not my kind of shade. So I completely forgot to take a video of the final look, but I did take some on my phone, so here we are. Alright, so now that you guys have heard my sort of first impressions on both sets, you saw everything on me, let's go into my final thoughts on everything. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palettes first. I think this collection, actually, I wasn't expecting it, but I feel like I should have expected it, because when you think about it, with M Cosmetics and all of their other Divine Skies eyeshadows, they don't actually have a neutral palette in here. So we have a Magic Hour, which is more coral and pink. Then we have Faded Clementine, which is a little bit more warm, rich and orange, and then Venetian Rose is definitely more mauve and burgundy. So within the lineup they currently have, they don't have like a solid neutral palette. And although I feel like in the beauty community online, whenever we see a neutral palette, we're like, oh my gosh, that's so boring. But in reality, that is what sells the best, because that's what most people are wearing on the everyday basis to work. So it's nice to see they now have like a solid, just like a neutral palette, and I actually think this collection will sell really well, especially if you're new to M Cosmetics. I feel like these kind of shades a lot of people will lean towards. My first impression, I thought that this one, the darker one, Da Vinci, was going to be for like medium to dark skin tones, and then this one, Rodin, the lighter packaging one, was going to be for light to medium skin tones. But actually, when you play with both, they actually have kind of the same depth. They both are quite smoky. Like this look that I'm wearing right now with the lighter palette, I feel like is quite like dark for me personally, and of course this is just on my skin tone, so obviously that will vary, but I think there's a lot of depth in both, and I just thought that this one was just going to be a little bit lighter. So you can actually go quite dark with both. I don't necessarily think we needed to have both though, because these don't compare really to any of their other eyeshadow palettes. These two definitely can be comparisons for each other, so I personally don't think you need both. And to my surprise, actually, I prefer Da Vinci. When I saw all the products online on Trendmood when they announced it and everything, I thought I was going to like Rodin a little bit more, because it was a little bit more muted and looked a little bit lighter, but it translates really dark. But I will say that this is just my thoughts right now. I've only used each palette once, because I literally just got this in the mail like 3 days ago, so when I got it the next day I just filmed with it. So I got these really recently. I haven't got to play with them more than one time, so my thoughts can change, but for right now I think I prefer the tones in Da Vinci, but I don't necessarily think you need to have both, but it's nice. It's nice to have an option there. As for the Heaven's Glow blushes, I absolutely love this formula, but I think with these shades personally, they're not like my absolute favorite. If I had to rank, because I do have all 5, my ranking would probably go Faded Clementine. This is like my absolute favorite blush, like just across the board, like any brand, Faded Clementine is just chef's kiss. It's so good. And then I would say Magic Hour, then Venetian Rose, and then out of these two I probably do like Baroque, just because it fits my skin tone a bit better. The shade Rogue Cocoa is a little bit dark on me, but they're both really pretty shades, but they're not my favorite compared to what else they already have in their lineup, if you know what I mean. Like they're pretty, but like I still prefer Magic Hour, Faded Clementine, but it's nice to have these in the lineup. I would say they're probably most similar to Venetian Rose and Magic Hour, but yeah, they're still all quite different. Like this collection is different from what they already have in their lineup. There's not so many crossovers. If you're curious about the packaging, this one here is Magic Hour. It's just a little bit more pink, and then the ones in the Masterpiece collection is a little bit more muted and taupe. And then again, with the lip cushions, I really love this formula as well, but I think these shades for me personally are just not what I gravitate towards. But I think this kind of shade a lot of people will like, this really nice nude kind of brown. Just personal preference, this is not what I typically like. I will compare it to some of the other lip cushions, because like I said, I have swatched all of them. My favorites would have to be Magic Hour and Angelique. These are like a little bit more pinky, a little bit more brighter. It's just my kind of preference. So at the end of the day, it really does come down to what you like. So if you want a good nude, this would be a really good one to get, and I think this is probably going to be a bestseller when it comes to the lip cushions, because I feel like a lot of people just love these kind of tones. Everything here, like the eyeshadow palette, the blush, the lip cushions, these 3 formulas I really enjoy from M Cosmetics. It's just, I guess, the shades in this collection, I guess I just prefer the other shades. Like I really love the Magic Hour palette, I love the Faded Clementine blush, I love the Magic Hour lip cushion, like you know what I mean? It's just color wise. So yeah guys, those were just my overall thoughts on the collection. Hopefully you found everything helpful in today's video. If you did, if you could, give the video a thumbs up for me. I'd appreciate it so much. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Did you guys pick this up? Are you going to now? Let me know. I would love to know. I'm always so excited to see what Cosmetics is going to come out. I'm still hoping for my prediction that they will come out with a whole lilac collection, because I can totally see them doing that. I mean, we still got, you know, the rest of the year, 11 months to go, so who knows, who knows. But yeah, that is going to conclude today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I love you so much, and I'll go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye.